Hello, welcome back to Paul's Stuff. This is my space on YouTube where I get to talk about all the things I love. Lots of Star Wars, lots of lightsabers. And today is lightsaber related. What I'm going to do today is look at how I display and transport and store my lightsabers. As you'll know, if you watch the channel at all, I am a Star Wars costumer. I costume as a Jedi. And that means that sometimes some of these have to go to a costuming event with me. And what I'm going to look at today is how I display these at home and how I transport them around the country to different costuming events. What precautions do I take? What do I do to make sure that they're transported safely? So we're going to be having a look at that. Firstly, I wanted to say over the next few weeks, the content for the channel is likely to be a little bit less. I have had some financial difficulties. I've not been working for a couple of months. I've another job now, which I've just started recently. But I need to, for the time being at least, reduce the amount of money that I spend on the channel, unfortunately. So I'm not intending to stop the channel, but for the next few weeks and months, probably, what you'll be seeing are more videos of things that I already have. I'm not in a position to be able to buy new items to review at the moment. That said, I've plenty of things, as you can see around me. My collection is quite large, so hopefully there's enough there to keep me going until I reach a point where I can buy things again. Currently the channel makes no money itself. That is something I'm keen to preserve. I don't particularly want the channel to make money. I want it to be something that people don't feel they have to contribute to. They can enjoy without having to contribute. Yeah, I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I don't get products given to me to review. Everything you see on the channel I buy myself. I think in the last year I've been gifted one lightsaber by Padawan Outpost. That's the Xenopixel lightsaber that you can see up on the wall there. They very kindly gave me that as a thank you. But other than that, every item that you've seen on the channel and that you will see on the channel up to date has been paid for by me. So as you can appreciate, it's a costly affair, and at the moment I cannot afford to buy new things to be reviewing. So I'll be going over some of the items that are already in the collection. But anyway, enough of the doom and gloom. Get enough of that on the news if you watch it. Let's have a look at how I transport and display my lightsabers. So if you follow me on social media, I'm really only on Facebook. Don't do other social media. But if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that recently I've done several of these cases. These are the small carry cases. You can buy these from Padawan Outpost. I think they're between £20 and £25, depending on the options that they have at the time. Not sure they've got any in at the moment. They do restock regularly. Hopefully they'll have some more back in if they don't have them in stock currently. So these are a lovely solid carry case for lightsaber hilts. They've got two locks on the top, combination locks. Now when we're talking about locks on these sort of boxes, I mean, if the locks are set and locked, it will deter people to get into them. If you really wanted to get into one of these, it wouldn't take much more than a screwdriver to break the locks off, to be fair, if they were locked. So they are secure, but they're not, you know, you're not going to stop anybody getting into them if they're determined to. So what I've done with these, they either come, I think some of them come without interiors, some of them come with like dividers and things in them. You can nicely fit 2 hilts in them. This one has my Ahsoka Tano Clone Wars hilts in it. As you can see, I've foam lined them. Now the foam I use is actually, I've been recycling the foam from the packaging that comes in Padawan Outpost boxes. So the egg crate foam that you see on the top is already in here. All of this foam are the top and bottom layers of flat foam that you get in a Padawan Outpost box. So just fill the box up, mark the outline of your saber, cut your saber in, you have a nice custom box. So that's how I transport some of my sabers. I've currently got one of these for this pair, for my other Ahsoka pair of sabers, the Rebel ones, and I've also got one that I've decked out for my Luke episode 6 and the energy matrix dampener that I've got from Wonawonga. They go in a box together. So that's the small carry cases that I use. But obviously these just fit the hilts, so you've still got your blades to transport. And what I use for those, go back to another older hobby of mine, which is archery. I had a couple of arrow tubes kicking about, and they're perfect for transporting blades in. So they're these adjustable tubes. They slide either freely like this one does, or some of them have got like a clip mechanism on them. And they're ideal for carrying blades. You can see I'm using this one currently to store basic blades in. You can slide them to accommodate any length of blade. They generally have a strap on them, like this one has. So once they're sealed up, you can adjust the strap quite easily, sling them over your shoulder, carry them how you want. Can tighten up the strap, carry them like a handle. They're perfect for carrying blades in. I'm sure you can get them in other walks of life other than archery, but that's where I know them from, as arrow tubes. I think sometimes you find them as like blueprint tubes and stuff like that, but these are ideal for carrying blades in. So if you've got one of these boxes, these are an ideal addition to that, to carry your blades around in. Now, this is a case that I use most frequently when I'm carrying sabers around. You'll find these sometimes sellers of sabers will sell the saber with one of these included, which is great when they do. You can find various other sellers that will sell them. They range from £60 to £100, I think I've seen them. They're a reasonably solid box. They have the same sort of locks on them as the previous box, so you can secure them to a degree, but they're not bulletproof security wise. And when you get these, usually if you've got one with a Saber, it will come with just the two locks at the end. Now I've added a third latch in the middle of mine. The reason for that is when you open these up, which we'll do, so I've just put a small small spring latch in the middle. You'll see that they usually come divided up into 3 sections, and the temptation is then that you could use these to transport 3 sabers and 3 blades, which you can do. However, if you do that without the extra latch in the middle, what you'll find is that the case is too heavy without the latch in the middle, and when you pick it up by the handle, because the handle's in the middle, it will actually gap open in the middle under the weight. It's not strong enough on its own to do that. So these little latches that I put in the middle solve that problem. We have a look at what's inside here. So once again, I've used the same foam as I used in the other boxes. I have a manual. Actually, this is a V2 manual, which isn't very helpful now because a lot of my Sabers are Xeno3. I've got a couple of charging leads, one of each type, USB-C and the round port. So they sit in one of the sections. I have spare screws, Allen keys, screwdrivers. I've got one of my Allen key drivers here. These are blade adapters from Padawan Outpost. These allow you to use a 7/8 inch blade in a Saber that has a 1 inch socket. Guitar picks, fine guitar picks are really useful with Sabers. If you want to isolate a battery quickly, but you can't take it out of the Saber, you can slide this between the bottom of the battery and the negative connector, and that will isolate the battery off. Spare batteries. I've got 4 spare batteries in here. There's another 2 underneath there. So sort of tools and things in the center section, and then in this section I've got SD cards and an SD card reader in case I ever want to swap out the SD cards on the Sabers that I take with me. I've also got 3 microfiber cloths. These I use to wrap up the hilt before it goes in. So if I grab one of the poker hilts that I've got to hand, I'll show you how I put them in here. So I get my hilt, wrap it in the microfiber cloth, and then there's enough depth there that it will just sit on top of the items in the tray, and the case will still close with it there. There is space at the back. I can fit 3 blades in here as well. So it is possible to use one of these to carry 3 Sabers, but you do need to do, I find, you will need to do a little bit of additional work in terms of adding something, the latch in the middle to stop the middle gapping open under the weight. Got a couple of these. I wouldn't go out and buy one. They are potentially a lot of work to get to a point where you can use them effectively. They're nice. They're nice. They look great, and they do take some knocks. I mean, this one has some quite big dings and bangs in it. So it's obviously protected the sabers while that was happening. As you can see, I decorate mine with stickers. So yeah, that's the long carrying cases that come with some Nexus sabers, and that you can get independently as well. And then lastly, how I display my lightsabers. So when I first got into lightsabers, I wanted to display my lightsabers. I didn't particularly want to display them with the blades in. I wanted to just display the hilts. So it's my watch cutting in, thinks I'm talking to it. I wanted a solution to display just the hilts, and I wanted to display them horizontally rather than vertically. And I looked around, and I think it was on a Saber resource page. I can't think of the name of it. I'll leave a link in the description of the video, where I found someone who suggested using guitar hangers, and that's what these are. Buy them from Amazon, buy them in pairs. I think they're about £5 or £6 for a pair of these now. They come with a little bag of screws and fixings to put them on the wall, and you literally you screw them to the wall, and then they have this lovely padding on them which is there to protect the guitar. So it's a fairly inert rubber that they put on these to not affect the finish on the guitars. So it's perfect for lightsabers as well, and the sabers just sit in here. They have a degree of adjustment. You can adjust them side to side. So if you have a saber that needs to be supported at slightly different heights, the ones with the control boxes, very often the control box will mean that one side of this has to sit lower than the other. You can accommodate all of that. They're just a really nice solution to displaying your sabers. So that's how I display all of my sabers. As you can see, I've got a wall full now. These are a really nice way of doing that. Hopefully you agree that the sabers on display here are benefiting from being displayed on these. Also, the sabers just rest on them. There's no need to clip the sabers in. I've never had one fall off. They're perfectly secure. Lovely solution to displaying your lightsaber hilts. So that's how I display and transport and protect my lightsabers when I'm moving them around. Of course, if you're not displaying them out, you could always keep them in the cases as well. The cases, particularly if you kit them out with the foam like I have, the cases are perfectly useful as storage, as a storage option as well. Hopefully that's been of some use to you. The aim of the channel is to produce things like this that are useful to people. Things like this tend to not get so many views. I'm not worried about that. If it helps out a couple of people, that's absolutely fine. That's what the channel's all about. It's all about sharing information, sharing ideas, sharing lightsabers and Star Wars and other things. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do give it a like. And if you haven't already subscribed, then consider subscribing to the channel as well. The notification bell will mean you'll get told when I put new stuff on the channel. That's all there is for today. Look forward to seeing you again, but for now I'll just say cheerio.